Um, what was this? Yes, so I'll just say welcome to Tuesday's Inspecting Lewis. We're inspecting the Lewis episode, the Rambling Boy. I'll just try to catch up. I've got a cracking mic as well. It's just sitting here, but you have to switch it on. And what's known as OBS, it's a program you use for Twitch. So apologies. I'm glad you like it, Candy. It's nice. Christchurch College, as I'm sure you're fully aware, with Tom Tower in the background there. It's a lovely, because that's where we went for the church service for Colin Dexter's memorial service. That's where we all went, and there's other photographs of myself and Lawrence Fox and who else? Sean Evans was there. Sheila Hancock was there. Anyway, so we're not here to talk about that. It is our Tom. Sorry, it is Tom. Yes, I think that was. I think that was 2 years ago. That photograph. I think so. Yes. Yeah, Tom. I've got some other film to use as what I've done in walks last year. It's just getting around to it anyway. I hope you all liked the deleted and truncated scenes that Nate supplied for us. I noticed a lot of you as well were surprised. I'll just bring this up so in case anyone didn't know it was there. Because it's not Ramblin Boy, I'll just mention, because Nate put a lot of work into finding the deleted scenes. I'll just put this second screen. So yeah, Lewis Born of Fire, and I know a lot of people can't believe some of the deletions, because some of them were very important deletions, and you just have to shake your head at PBS and their editing tactics. It's just quite ridiculous. So I mean, I think there's scenes like, I know we're talking about Ramblin Boy, but first, things that I don't understand. This scene here with the mother of Will talking to Lewis and Hathaway, which I thought was a good scene and gave you more information. Now this scene here,
Will started to get depression, and you left the priesthood around the time the two of you met up again in Oxford.
As you know if you've read my post, I always put in context the deleted scenes, so I put what came before and after. Yeah, so as people say it, this is a lovely scene. And I think it's maybe just necessary to see Lewis in a different situation. And also his question to the other chap whose name I forgot, him there, who's going to offer him tea. I thought that was a nice little conversation, and it gave an indication as to how Lewis had to deal with Hathaway in the episode as well. So yes, thank you very much, Nate, for supplying these. So anyway, let's get on to the Ramblin Boy. As we've said, there's plenty of. It'll be interesting when Nate gets around to the Ramblin Boy, what they cut out of that. It's unbelievable, Midlands. I mean, to them it just probably looked like a non-scene Lewis talking to a fellow gardener. But I thought, maybe not important, but certainly, as I said, it gave you a reason where Lewis was thinking in regards to Hathaway and how the gardener, so I can't remember his name, the advice he gave to Lewis as well was very interesting. So so Ramblin Boy, lots of good scenes, of course. We're not lost for lots of good scenes in this episode. Let's start with so I'm just reading what Speech Girl was saying. It can be difficult to follow at times. When it is complete, chopped up, I would have to watch several times. they cut what they considered filler. Yes, absolutely, Speech Girl. But it shows so much of the main characters, absolutely. And it's nice to see Lewis in a different context. So they missed the point by deleting that scene. There was 2 or 3 good reasons to have that scene. But a lot of people have been saying the same thing, Speech Girl, that with those scenes taken out, they couldn't understand how they got from A to B in the episode. They thought they were missing something, or they thought it was, the writing was bad. But of course it wasn't. It's PBS who are bad for what they've done. So it's just, yeah, it's just not good at all. So let me just get back to my pretty face for a few seconds. I couldn't say that with a straight face. Come on, don't let me down. So the first one we'll do is... What was the first one I chose? Oh yeah, of course, yeah. So we'll start with this nice scene in the camp.
Come on, Luce, I need the money. We don't all live in a cosy little rent-free boat, do we?
Well, don't be grumpy. Hathaway's having a holiday.
Says he is.
Oh. Like that, is it? Come on.
He thinks I don't know about it. Some old churchy pals of his have roped him in for some do-goodery.
Oh, no.
Fixing up an orphanage. More or less press-ganged him into it.
Poor James.
Get on. He'll fit straight back in with all of them. He wouldn't have fun if it jumped up and smacked him in the gob.
But you would.
Oh, I've had my share.
In the distant past.
Oh.
Although you did give yourself up to wild abandon the other night. Friday? Drinking in the beauty of the river, standing in the dusk and just gazing at the sight.
Oh, yeah. A body. Well, I thought I saw a body. But it wasn't. It was a log. What?
It's a shame that Kathy's no longer there.
Yeah, Lewis. Neil Strictly. Good, thanks. Name band. Cut off his wrist or his ankle, found about 100 yards from the body. Still something to work on. Sorry, your treat. We're not asking you to break any confidences.
Ready?
It's a lovely scene, that nice interaction between both of them. So, well, I've just seen Tom, I think, said he changed his score to 7, so that's good. But as I said, it was a 6, it's a 6, Tom. Marjorie's keeping it 10. Yeah, I wonder why you're always craving tea, Judy. I wonder why. I missed the entire exposition about what Hathaway was doing when we watched on Sunday. Everyone was too entertaining, yeah. So was that scene there, I'm assuming, Worst Potato, what Hathaway was doing in Croatia? Yeah, it must be strange for people in America who... I'm going back to deleted scenes again, sorry, but it must be so annoying when you then find out just how many deleted scenes there are. And Nate's told me of another episode, I think, Allegory of Love, when there's quite a lot of deleted scenes. So, but coming up soon, Nate sent me information for the episode The Great and the Good. So that will be my next post as far as deleted scenes are concerned. He thought he saw a body. Brilliant. But so we're okay. If no one, I think everyone who's here was here on Sunday, so I think we're okay for about not asking for scores. But if you weren't here on Sunday, either at the beginning or even the whole episode, then please let me know what your score out of 10 is for the Ramblin Boy. As I said, it's always a personal, subjective thing the way you look at the score. I think most of us were 8s and 9s. We've got Tom up to a 7. Tom was 7, was 6, sorry, originally. Oh, this DVD, I'm just looking for another scene there. So who thinks the kiss scene, of course, which we'll come to later, I'll show that in a minute. Caroline, 8 plus. Okay, yeah. Who thinks the kiss in the pub, who thinks that was their first kiss? Midlands 9, if not 10, okay. Sue's still 10. Oh, Fruitful, 7. Oh, don't be afraid. That's no one's going to attack you for giving it a lower score than everyone else. And I've given episodes like Counterculture Blues, which is one of my least favourites. I think I gave it 5 out of 10. But the majority of chat gave it 7 and 8. I think there's even a few 9s in there. So never be worried about giving it a score that's different from everybody else. As I said, it's a very personal, subjective thing. So 7 for Fruitful. The acting at the opening dinner party. Yes, it was I don't know, Fruitful, if it was meant, because to me it came across as a very strained dinner party, as if they were just thrown together at the last minute. Not everybody at the table liked everyone at the table. They liked maybe 1 or 2. Peter Faulkner, I don't think, liked anybody at the table really. The young boy who was the funeral director, I thought he's a few people he didn't. So I think maybe it was intentionally to look strained, as if this wasn't normal for all of them to be gathered in the same room. Normally they wouldn't be together at any particular time other than this particular scenario. You can't imagine the young funeral director inviting Peter Faulkner or the Dr. Matt or Tara to the pub or anything like that. I think he was quite happy just with his girlfriend being there, but that's my take on it, Fruitful. Tom Bowerstorm, the thing is that Kevin and Lawrence are fine actors. On their own, they can't really carry the show. The best way I can explain it is this. My wife and I train carriage horses. Oh, wow. Sometimes you put 2 horses in a pair and you get okay, 1 plus 1 equals 1. Sometimes you get good, 1 plus 1 equals 2. And sometimes you get something extraordinary. Excuse me, I'll have no water. 1 plus 1 equals 4. And that's what I think about Lewis, Tom's saying. With Lawrence and Kevin together pushed towards each other, each to do better, and without Lawrence it kind of feels like Kevin's performance isn't there. Oh, that's interesting, Tom. So that's a good discussion point. Does anybody agree with Bauer that Kevin's performance was sort of lower than normal without Lawrence, and they both need each other in the series? And of course we find that even more so when it comes to series 8 and 9 when Maddox appears. So there's quite a few scenes where it's Lawrence and Maddox, or it's Kevin and Maddox, or Lewis and Maddox, I should say. But that's interesting, Tom. I find the story slow. 7 is the best I can do. Yes. I just wonder if the writers, or the writer, and I think this was her only. Yeah, Lucy Gannon wrote this, and she's no other connection to the Mars universe. So I feel that Lucy possibly wrote a storyline based around Liam and Ruth, and the script writers, the script editors, producers asked her to incorporate the Laura and Lewis plot, or subplot, I suppose in this case. And that's maybe why the plot was slower than normal, because there's quite a few. How many is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it's at least 8 or 9 scenes with just Lewis and Laura. So you feel that this particular episode, the producer said, right, because of course they thought the next episode, Intelligent Design, was the final one. So they had to almost force this in. This was at last they got together, not knowing, of course, that they would be asked to return. Carolyn, did they snog on the bridge? I don't think so. Let me just check. I don't think so, but as you know, it's not the first time I was wrong. I've actually got that one down, so that's right. Ramblin Boy, about 1 hour, 9 minutes.
You'll get there.
Well, I'm never going to love anyone again, I know
Yeah.
that much.
See if Carlin's right, it's snow on
Jack
the
Cornish didn't just fall into drugs, did he, through poverty or a chaotic life? He walked in with his eyes wide open, knowing people are going to die, lives are going to be ruined, and he just didn't care.
Well, you'll put a stop to that.
Oh, he closed the factory. Still got Nail Faulkner and his mates.
You will.
When I do you fancy a ride one night after work?
A ride?
What? I mean a bike ride. There's a bike hire shop.
Robbie, you on a bike?
It's just, let me just pause that. Come back to it. Yeah, I think, Caroline, it looks like they're almost about to in that scene, doesn't it? So you wonder if there was a kiss in the bridge, but they stopped it and rethought it and said, no, let's have one major kiss at the end in the pub. So that it looked like they were about to lean in to kiss, but they cut it to the next scene. So Sue also thought, so I can see why Sue and Marjorie thought they'd kiss, but there was almost a kiss. It's okay, Judy. Yes, I'm trying to get over Laura. Imagine not. Yeah, I don't think it was her first kiss either. It's almost too passionate for a first kiss. I'm not saying that can't happen, but a first kiss is normally, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm just from my personal experience, that it's sometimes and usually quite, it's quite tentative, a bit awkward, because you're not sure how to introduce that factor to your new relationship, your first kiss. And that kiss in the pub to me was way too passionate for a first kiss. What does everybody else think? Marjorie, I think that when they hugged on the bridge, it is a lovely scene. They seem way too comfortable not to have already kissed. Yeah, that's very true as well, Marjorie. Yeah, the way they hugged each other, there was no awkwardness at all. That's very true. Tom Bauer says, to me, a dinner party is an Agatha Christie-esque trope. That's very true, isn't it? That's very true. Speech Girl, who's Candy, Candy with a K, I will say. I think they must have kissed before. No awkward first kiss moves, yes. Yeah. Neither seemed unsure or nervous, so yeah, what I was saying, there's usually a tentativeness, with a first kiss. Hello, Marno. I don't think you were here on Sunday, Marno, so nice to see you. Marno scored it 10 out of 10, largely based on the Lewis Hobson story, yes. I agree that the backstory is at least as important as a murder mystery, if not more, and certainly more so in this episode. Midlands, Marjorie, that's interesting, but I don't get the feeling they've kissed yet when Lewis takes Laura for a coffee. More that they've moved things along a bit more. But GMHO. Oh, just my honest opinion, right? Just my honest. I just managed to work that out. Caroline agrees with you, Tom Bauer. So Sue, I love the story of Gray volunteering to work with Lewis and what Gray said to the kids. Yeah, that's a lovely scene. I've got that down, so we'll come to that later. Tom says it felt like Kevin was just all over the place. Again, if I play devil's advocate, possibly, is it possible, Tom, that's how Kevin was playing it? That it'd be difficult for him, as he admitted to Hathaway in a small way, not directly, indirectly. Working with a new partner would not be a good thing. So maybe it's it's Kevin's acting. He's acting in that way because he misses Hathaway. He needs Hathaway to bounce his ideas off, as he says. He needs Hathaway's big brain to work in this. And as lovely as Gray is, he can't come up to the standards of Hathaway. Am I just grasping at straws with that idea? Endeavour's 3. Why do you think they never showed their first kiss, though after it was pending for so long? That's one for you, chat, as well. Why didn't they show their very first kiss? It's a good question, Endeavour's 3. Because normally that is something that in film or TV, when it's a will they or won't they situation, or just it's an affair where people meet, and then you normally always see the first kiss. Is it? So maybe I think Marjorie was right with the bridge scene. I was going to say the bridge scene could have been their first kiss because they did seem to lean into each other, and they cut it out. But as Marjorie says, they look too comfortable with each other for it to have been their first embrace and their first kiss. So that's a damn good question, Endeavour 3. Maybe they did film it but decided that passionate kiss in front of Innocent and Hathaway was just a better scene, possibly. But yeah, good question. Midlands, for Laura to have been thinking about Snog and Robbie all day was precipitated by their first kiss in the bridge. Yes. I mean, that just her saying that alone, I've been thinking of that all day. Well, you could have said it in your first kiss, maybe. But yeah, I think the first kiss could have been on the bridge. Worst potato. I agree with Tom that actors can be a lot like trained horses. Yeah, well, Hitchcock did say that actors were like cattle, but he was misquoted. But I think it was very close to that. He eventually said no. I said that actors are like untrained cattle or something like that. Yeah, it was nice to see more of Innocent, of course, because as we know, Sunday's episode is the last episode we see Innocent, the intelligent design episode. Midlands, in response to Endeavour's 3, otherwise she might have been a bit too horny while on the bridge. Very good bit of Midlands. Just that small. Let's watch the. I'm going to leave it till near the end, but let's watch the DC Gray little scene. Well, that's just setting up a read through. Got some more chat. Oh, my DVD needs to be. I keep saying it, but I'll need to buy an external DVD player. This one plays up, but Oh, of course, worst potato. You've directed actors, yes. Oh, just a little thing. I was watching a documentary about Hitchcock the other night, and you know, we were talking some weeks ago about how maybe Sean Evans ruined or made it slightly worse the Endeavour episodes because he was poking his nose in, having Russell Lewis rewrite scenes and adding his own dialogue and all that type of thing because he's a producer as well, so he's got more power. Well, actually, Hitchcock was talking about something very similar. He said there's a few times, well, I think only twice maybe he said, we didn't mention what actor it was, and Hitchcock, of course, 9 times out of 10 he wrote the script, usually with someone else, and there's twice he said at least an actor came to him and he completely rewrote. It was a big name, so it could have been Cary Grant, James Stewart, any of the big names, Sean Connery, because he was in Marnie. Hitchcock said this actor came in and he'd rewritten the whole scene. And Hitchcock says, no. He says, if one thing, it's not fair on the other actors because they've learned their lines. And they'd have to relearn new lines just at your whim because you're a superstar. Hitchcock just said, no. Do my scene, we don't do any scenes. It just so anyway, just a little aside about that. So let me get to the lovely scene with DC Gray. 1 hour 26.
It was good of you, but we could have got a taxi.
You'll have a load of stuff to sort out with the coroner in the next few days. Take my advice. If anyone holds out a helping hand,
Grab it.
My dad died suddenly too. I was 16. Police and coroners and all that.
Did someone hold out a hand to you?
Yes, a policeman. A Geordie.
Is that why you became a police officer?
Yeah. He doesn't remember it. I'll never forget.
Yes, oh God, I'm just almost getting a bit tearful here. It's just lovely. And I like as well, they didn't overplay that. They didn't have Lewis recognising him. We didn't have Gray telling Lewis, do you remember when you helped me when my father died, my dad died? Midlands, I'm just going to read through some of the chat if you don't mind. I just want to catch up. I think it was a bit out of respect for the characters' personal lives. It seems strange to say, but the writers have a lot of respect for the characters. Yeah, because you have to imagine the producers have got a storyboard, a character board for the writers to bounce off. A bike ride. You can imagine Lewis being that coarse, that rude. They were going to kiss Caroline, definitely. So I'm just scrolling down. I've missed quite a bit of chat. They definitely hated Peter Faulkner. He had dealings with Peter Faulkner before, which we never saw, but it was obviously he tried to lock up Peter Faulkner before. Very well played by Peter Davison, but he just seemed to relish playing that bad boy role. Judy, it's as if they had a bit of a smooch without our viewing when they walked and talked about maybe making it public. True. Midlands, Chris, I think it's on the cutting room floor. Yeah, mainly because of whether they are positioned height-wise in the bridge to bring clear up to Kevin's height. Like in the pub, she's standing on a step. Good point as well, Midlands, absolutely. It is. Yeah, I think it was put on the cutting room floor, and then the director and that thought, no, it makes a bigger impact. We had a really passionate kiss. For a second there, I thought I'd turned the mic off. I'm so sorry. You see my strange head movement there. It's okay, Midland, don't worry about typos, we all do it. Oh no, James tonight. I hope he's okay. So I think they had some off-screen action in between the because they seemed like established lovers in the pub. Very true. I think they did have some hanky-panky, rumpy-pumpy, as Lewis would say. Yeah, it seemed very comfortable, Speech Girl, especially in such public place around friends. Though of course Laura never knew Hathaway and Innocent were there. The shock in her face when she sees them there. Callie, and sometimes the first kiss suddenly feels weird, especially if you've known each other for quite a while, like you're kissing your cousin. It does. She's a little dynamo, she is. Let's see. Claire's around 8 inches shorter than Kevin, right? Okay. Yeah, so you see why they had to get a situation when she's on the step. Nate, when I first saw the episode on PBS, I was as surprised as the final kiss. As Hathaway and Innocent. So was I. I think more to do because how passionate it was. Either I missed it entirely, certainly possible, or maybe the bridge kiss was deleted for PBS. There's no kiss, Nate. We watched the scene. There was no kiss on the bridge. It looked like they were about to kiss, and then it cut to the next scene. So as we were saying earlier that possibly there was a kiss, but it's on the cutting room floor. They cut it out and went. The first kiss being the very passionate kiss. But no, don't worry, Nate. It wasn't in the actual episode. It was. They cut away as if they were going to kiss. Could be Sue, yeah. It could be Sue as simple as that. It wanted to keep us, make it suspenseful as to when it would happen, because of course we're all expecting it to happen in this episode. Yeah, as a bridge hug, Nate. It was. We're all expecting it to happen, but when, of course. And I think maybe, on reflection, the passionate kiss was probably the way to go, rather than some little peck on the bridge. Yeah, I think personally, I think the passionate kiss was wonderful. It was a shock, and I think, and that wonderful reaction you get from Hathaway and Innocent. Innocent's face is the proverbial picture. Yes, Speech Girl, very true, Candy. I think that if they'd done it earlier in a more personal way, there would not be that fantastic reaction from Hathaway and Innocent, and I think that helps the scene as well, as their shock at this happening. Hello Starshine, hello. We didn't see you here on Sunday either, Starshine, hope you're well. Claire Holman said in an interview that Hathaway and Hobson were often trying to get Robbie's attention. This episode gives Hobson the chance to capture Lewis's attention without interference from Hathaway. Very true. Oh God, Judy, maybe I shouldn't say it about Innocent, sorry. I didn't think about spoilers, sorry, yes. Oh, bugger, sorry, Judy. Yes, this is, yes, this Sunday is the last episode of Series 7, and originally it was all thought that was it, finished, Lewis. And when it came back again for 8 and 9 series, for whatever reason, I think Rebecca Front was busy with something else, I couldn't come back. So I'm sorry if I spoiled that, Judy, I'm really sorry. I never gave that a second thought. I'm sorry about that, making poor assumptions there. I'm just reading through the chat again. Maggie, that's a good point, Marno. And we've been led up the garden path, as it were, quite a few times before, about Robson thinking things would develop, and then it didn't. Quite deliberate, I mean. And it was nice. I'll put the pub scene on, because this is nice, that she was thinking that Lewis because you have to. Oh, I wonder actually now, I'm thinking about it. See what you think. We'll watch the scene in the pub. I don't think they had kissed before the pub, because the way that Hobson is trying to make sure that Lewis is okay, that he's still not struggling with his his thoughts about Val. So there's something maybe to think about. See if you think maybe if I'm right or wrong.
They didn't tell you to get stuffed.
Oh, it was there in the subtext.
Are you okay?
They gave me a once-over at the hospital.
Yeah, no, not that, Robbie. You.
Yeah, you know me. I'm always all right.
Would you tell me if you weren't? All this funeral stuff was getting to you?
It's not.
Reminding you of Val? Doesn't seem to get any easier, does it?
Well, that's it. It does. I was stood outside the Krem the other day watching that poor family in pieces and waiting for the pain. Val's slipping away.
Time's passing. There's nothing you can do about that. Doesn't mean that you can't.
Yeah, I know. First it felt like a betrayal, but no. I'm just turning over the page on a new chapter.
Right.
Yeah, I think someone someone said that, yes, Marjorie, I don't think they kissed before they ran off dinner, but probably did afterwards on the way home. Yes, I think so. I think you're absolutely right there, Marjorie. You can only imagine they're walking home past the Radcliffe camera, etc., and stopping somewhere for a nice kiss. There's lovely rooms, of course, Tom Bowerstorm upstairs in the Randolph, but you can't quite make that leap that they would do that. But then again, they are adults. They have been dancing around each other for quite some time. So, yeah, true, Worst Potato, this is a family show. Yes, but they're going to have any rumpy-pumpy in a hotel room. They couldn't do worse than the Randolph. Lovely rooms, beautiful rooms. A fanfic moment, eh, Chris? Very true. I don't know what I'm going to do now as far as Photoshop ideas for intelligent design. I'm going to have to really rack my brains to do a good one for that. Anyway, Judy, I like that. I agree, Marjorie. She's taking his temperature. Is he hot or cold? Is he maybe into her? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, definitely in that scene she is. She's just testing the waters, and I think she does know that that Robbie does like her. And of course, it's obvious that she liked him. You can understand Laura's trepidation in making a move with Val always there. It's quite sad, isn't it, when Lewis says Val slipping away? It's quite sad that to think that, but unfortunately that's what life does, isn't it? And then, no, I didn't go for the ride there either, no. Now that married, Judy says that there's never give up. No, I wouldn't come between. No, up until now, I maybe had a chance, but now that passionate kiss, I can't fight with that. I can't beat that. I have to turn my attentions elsewhere. Yeah, and someone said earlier, sorry, but DC Gray, it might have been nice to have brought him in maybe in series 8 or 9. I haven't seen him in much else either, but he could be a theatre actor, because we forget that IMDb does not mention what they've done in the theatre, so he could be doing a lot of theatre work. But yeah, I haven't seen him in much else either, and I haven't checked out his MDB either to see how that is. So I think we've got to look at the kiss scene now, haven't we? So what are all these kissings worth if thou not kisseth me? No, that's that. 125.
raging thirst. Cheers. Oh, here is the boy wonder.
I thought you had another 3 days, James.
I knew he couldn't afford out of his skull without.
Not far wrong, sir.
Here, I'll get you a drink.
No, you...
No, you. Sit down.
Well, I've enjoyed being the inspector's sidekick. Been all right, hasn't it? Don't listen to anything he says. He's been a lonely little soul without you.
I've been thinking about doing that all day.
Same here.
Evening?
James, gosh, you're sunburnt.
Thank you.
I'll get the drinks in.
No, I'll get them.
No, we'll both get them. You can have that one.
How long?
I turned my back for 5 minutes.
It was good of you, but we could have got a taxi.
You'll have a load of stuff to sort out with the coroner in the next few days. Take my advice. If anyone holds out a helping...
It's just what Innocent says there. He's been a lost soul without Hathaway. So maybe it's back to what I said before, that well, hold on, I see a new face or a new name, Taurus Johnson. I haven't seen your name before, Taurus. You're a Lewis fan. So maybe we're talking before that maybe Kevin played it in such a way, as I said before, that he was a little lost without Hathaway, in the way that Morse was occasionally lost without Lewis. It's sorry, it's Rumpy Pumpy. Yours sounds like a different thing altogether. Rumby Pumpy, Rumby Bumby. It sounds like something completely different. Definitely, I think Midlands, yeah, I think we're all agreed that there's definitely kissing sometime between the pub scene, where Laura asked Lewis if he's okay about Val, and that scene. I think there was a kiss in between there somewhere. Yeah, did they have Rumpy Pumpy before the kiss scene? It's possible, but I like to think the first time was that night after the kiss in the bar. Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, surely can't. A Rumpy Pumpy. So yeah, I think we're pretty much all agreed. 25 tonight. Thank you, everyone. It's 20. I think 25 is a record for a Tuesday. So just a quick thank you to everyone in chat, everyone just watching. Which I said, it's wonderful you even just arrived to watch. Thank you for doing so, and I hope you're still enjoying it. Yes, yeah. I think we first hear it, Rumpy Pumpy, in the pilot episode. So yeah. So and yes, we said on this, digressing a little bit, we're still within the episode. Is we were saying on Sunday, why did Peter Faulkner confess so easily and so readily? And my take on, I'll have to find the original Rumpy Pumpy scene and re-show it on Thursday. Yeah, because I think the original one, I think that we heard it the very first time in the pilot episode. What did you do, Wash Potato? I can't see anything about spell Pumpy. Yeah, we're saying why Peter Faulkner confessed so easily and readily, and I think it's he knew with his wife telling Lewis everything, even down to the fact that he set fire to Ruth's boat. He didn't really have a leg to stand on, and once forensics went back to Faulkner's house and examined that big huge doorstep, doorstop that was hit over the chap was hit over the head with, then there's going to be blood or hair or something there somewhere, because of course they were stopped looking properly before when Tara Faulkner came to the police station, so they stopped looking. Yeah, and of course that's right, Sue. The Undertaker as well would have made some deal with the police to give evidence and hopefully get a lesser sentence as well. So really, I think Peter Faulkner knew the game was up, as they say. Off screen. Sorry, Sue, what do you mean by off screen? Sorry. Yeah, well, Tara told him in the Tara. Yeah, I think Bowerstorm Tom's asking what made the professor think the student was pregnant. She's just misread some signs, some things that Ruth said, because she lost her own baby, which could never be easy, and made even worse by the fact that the father, Matt, the doctor, didn't want it, tried to get her to have an abortion. So I think she was just she was seeing children maybe everywhere, seeing babies everywhere, and I don't think there was anything in particular in the episode you could say. I think it was just the way she was acting and talking that was misread by the professor, and she was just her emotions were just being carried over to poor Ruth, and that's the best I can do. Because I can only imagine being a man what it must be like to lose a baby. So she's obviously very traumatic, especially at her age as well, where she maybe was thinking that was her last chance. Excuse me. And Matt was so horrible to her as well. Marjorie, Peter Faulkner was certainly gloating about the amount of money he was making, yeah. And he knew he'd come to the end of the road, absolutely. I think there was enough evidence above just his wife giving the game away and the Undertaker. Yeah, absolutely. He was still trying to make Lewis feel small by saying that he earned more than in a week than Lewis would earn in a year or more. And the girlfriends were hovering and taking good care of her as well. Yeah, young Ruth as well. Okay, Endeavours, thank you very much. Hopefully I might see you Thursday once the full complete watch and chat of the wonderful The Point of Vanishing episode, and then we've got the last episode of the 7th series on Sunday, Intelligent Design. Thank you again, Summer Endeavour, sorry for joining us. We'll see you soon. It's terrible, my brain. What's the word? I'm trying to think of the word when you is it just project? Is it psychologists or psychiatrists say she's projecting her previous pregnancy onto young Ruth. Does that sound right? And I think that's the best I can do as far as the professor and her obsession with young Ruth. Yeah, Point of Vanishing. I'm looking forward to watching that again on Thursday. Okay, Judy, thank you. See you soon. Hopefully see you Thursday for the Point of Vanishing. Because you weren't here for us, Judy, when we first watched the Point of Vanishing some months ago. It does go by, I mean, that's 8 o'clock already. I know, it's amazing. Projection, yeah, thank you, Judy. Yeah, I thought that was it. She was just projecting all her feelings onto poor little Ruth. But yeah, so I'm sorry to cut and run, but I've got some more uni work to do tonight. I want to get a couple of hours in before before it gets too late and I get too tired. But let me just check. Let me just check. What other scenes have I not shown? I'll show this scene. I do like this scene with Hathaway. I think it's we'll do that.
Thanks. Heartless attacking two kids, eh?
Well, I can't see who'd want to. Nice kids, too. Hard-working lad. Do anything to earn an...
Should I be getting on with something?
Repatriation. Miller brings bodies back from abroad. Expats, people who've died on their holidays. Just in time, Hathaway. Morning, Sergeant.
You know how hard it is reading road signs in Serbo-Croat?
I had a weekend in Wales once.
It's amusing, sir. I popped into the police station.
Any of them speak English?
Yeah, better than I speak Serbo-Croat, fortunately. They came round straight away. They've been watching the place for months, just looking for an excuse.
Here, I'm going to put you on loudspeaker. Laura Hobson's here, so mind your language.
Morning.
Hello, James. You having a good time?
Yeah, can we do all that when he gets back?
Crystal mess, sir. The farmhouse is a crystal mess factory.
Well, well. No wonder the Faulkners have such big, fat bank balances.
Yeah, they ship the stuff all over Europe.
So, where's Cornish now? Rotting in some Serbo-Croat cell?
Vanished. 10 minutes after he saw me, probably.
Right, I'll make sure we put a watch on all the airports and ferries. You ever tried one of these electronic cigarettes?
Sorry?
Help you give up the habit? You ever tried one?
No.
Well, you should. How much crystal meth do you reckon you could hide in a coffin?
To me, it's almost like Hathaway saying, "How did you know I was smoking? And if you did, how did you know?" This is the behind the scenes here. Of course, as you can see, the burning boat. Robbie is almost like a father figure to Hathaway. He is, isn't he? I'm sure you've. I thought. Hopefully, you know that I did a post about this about a month ago with the behind-the-scenes photographs of the Ramblin Boy. I wonder if that's the actress who plays Ruth, or whether it's a stand-in or a stunt actor, even in that situation. Anyway, let's get back to what we were going to do originally. It does, doesn't it? It does look like a stand-in. Hello, Holly. Holly, yeah, if you go to my site, and I think it's about a month ago, and there's lots more behind-the-scenes photographs on that episode and other episodes as well. Let me just get the DVD up so we can watch the.
Ruth Wilson, she lives on a boat down here. Not been able to contact her all day, so she doesn't know about Liam yet.
Out of step.
That's a good sign, Alice.
Careful, Robbie, there'll be gas bottles. Fire brigade. There's a fire on a boat near Luke Lane.
think that was the first time they'd held hands. I have a feeling that was the first time they'd held hands. And Robbie was looking for an excuse. It was a perfect excuse to be a gentleman and help her over the fence. But someone says she's apparently a former gymnast. So, but yeah, it was a nice touch. I think that was first time they'd held hands. Just the way it looked like it, yeah, I think that was the first time. Because even had that sort of little awkwardness to begin with, they were finding each other's hand when they eventually got on the canal towpath as well. What's potato? Kevin doesn't have to be in it. He doesn't want to. She can just talk about him all the time while she's solving crimes, like Columbo. Yes. Because remember there was that terrible Mrs. Columbo TV show spin-off from Columbo. I think the 70s. It was. What I remember was terrible. Yeah, it was a. I like the Columbo. See, I don't like not so much the late 80s, 90s episodes, but I do love the late 60s, 70s episodes. Peter Falk it's just wonderful. Such great guest stars as well, and it's always worth watching. Oh, Marjorie, and here's a question. I think that the first time that Robbie called her Laura was in Counterculture Blues. But when was the first time that Laura called Robbie Robbie? Oh, that's it, right. Well, I can't answer that, unfortunately, Margie. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to write that down as a task for the second edition. Because obviously I'll go through and watch all the episodes again. So what I'll do is, when did Laura call Robbie first time? We've got Counterculture Blues next Thursday. That will be our final Thursday night, Inspecting Lewis. And when did Robbie call Laura first? Thank you, Marjorie. Because that's good, just to, even as a sort of miscellaneous thing in the miscellaneous section, just to say when and where. Excellent. Okay, thank you, Marjorie. Proof for Mrs. Columbo. Was it Kate Mulgrew from Star Trek Voyager? Good grief, I didn't remember that. Wow. She's a good actress, so I think it must have been. I haven't seen it probably since the 70s. But what this in my memory, I think it was. I remember it being a terrible series and such a letdown. Kate loves a mystery, right? Okay, I did not know it was. Maybe they wanted to disconnect from Columbo. Yeah, I remember because I did like even when I was young. I liked Columbo. Always. Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did, Marjorie. Yeah, it'd be interesting to find that out. You think that Laura called? You think that Robbie called Laura was in the Counterculture Blues, right? So that's quite a bit through the series. So Counterculture. I need to check that out. Yeah, because they were just looking at each other as work colleagues, and obviously slowly things changed. Yes, a hard one to answer off the top of the head as to when Robbie called Laura. And it's even funny in that scene when he's in the mortuary and they're talking to Hathaway over the phone. He says to Hathaway, Laura Hobson's here, not just Laura's here. He's keeping it almost very work-like. He says Laura Hobson's here. Yeah, It could be Midlands. Maybe maybe you recall something from when we watched it. But yeah, it's another, as we said, it's another good reason to re-watch them. And I would definitely be re-watching them a few times again before I do the second edition of the book. I think that. So I'm just looking back on Holly's head. Oh, Holly's saying she liked that scene with her holding hands more than the pub kiss scene as well. Yeah, so many nice scenes in this. It's obviously it's almost the main plot was secondary to the Laura and Lewis situation. I mean, that really was the plot, and the subplot was the whole drugs thing and all that, wasn't it? Did you guess that, Judy? I'm trying not to do my homework tonight. Yes, but I still will. I'll spend a couple of hours at least anyway, because I'm not particularly tired at the moment. Marjorie, yes, in Counterculture Blues, it was when they were walking in the garden past all the vintage cars, discussing the fact that the murderer didn't like to touch, although he didn't shy away from the deed. Ah, right, okay, right. So you think that was the first time, right? Okay, interesting. We'll see that next Thursday when we do our full watch and chat. As I said, that'll be the final Thursday night one next week, unfortunately. But it'll be interesting to look through. I mean, as I said, I've had lots of ideas from you chaps and chapesses as far as my book's concerned, and a lot more ideas. I'm going to I will put into the second edition, because I really want it to be the ultimate, not just complete, but really properly, as the word suggests, complete. I want to get it as close to perfect as possible. And as you know, there's lots of good new sections I'm working on. The reason I'm turning is I've got a whiteboard up on my wall with ideas for the website and the book, etc. So yes, so I really need sorry people, I really need to go. I apologise for sort of leaving you at this moment, but as I said, yeah, so hopefully I'll see you on Thursday to watch the complete episode and chat of the wonderful The Point of Vanishing, if not Sunday for the Intelligent Design. Oh, I'll just read this first. First Potato. Working Posh Show Discord. Oh, right. So yes, remember Worst Potato is Discord, where you can go and do more chatting about Lewis, and I'm sure the Morse universe as a whole. But read what you see. Worst Potatoes put discord.gg/2sjxt. Remember the upper and lower case. Fruitful Chris, we're still working on version 2. Is it definitely going to be out next summer? That's my hope, because I need to get uni out of the way first, so that'll be finished around April, May. So all things being equal, I'll hopefully get it out July or August. I mean, I'm not going to just leave it until then. I mean, as at the moment, I'm going through my first edition, looking for mistakes and errors either from me or Amazon, or just writing in little notes. So I'll do as I go along up until then, but definitely after April, May, I'll be working hard on that. And hopefully I'll get down to Oxford to take some original photographs to include in the book as well. Because I don't know, if some of you were here when I said I'm going to do a colour version and a black and white version. As I said, the colour version will not be cheap, unfortunately. But as I said, I feel if I put a colour version, then it's up to, won't force you into that. It'll be up to you if you prefer the colour version. But there will be the cheaper option with the black and white version, and also the Kindle. But I'm also trying to find another way, maybe selling it through my website in some way for those who don't deal with Amazon. So maybe doing it through some sort of PDF version, so you can put it onto your tablet and your laptop, etc. But that's something else I'm looking at as well. But you're welcome, everybody. I hope you. And it's a great. The time does fly. It does fly so fast. So I'm glad you all enjoyed it. I said, hopefully I'll see you on Thursday. Have a nice few days. If I don't see you Thursday, hopefully I'll see you Sunday. You take care, everyone, physically as well as mentally. Please take care, and I'll see you soon. Good night, everyone.